The last video I did I claimed would be a shorter one, and I don't think it actually was. This one has a possibility of being shorter. It might not be. I write this part first, and then I don't really go back and change it too much, so it's a surprise to me. In a strange way, you kind of know before I do. Anyway, I'm also kind of bad at this game I'm about to talk about. You'll see soon enough, but that won't stop me from talking about it, or loving it. So today, I'm gonna tell you why I love Demon's Tilt. I love pinball, just in general, but I feel like there isn't enough pinball outside of actual physical tables. There are a handful of video games, and they aren't bad either. One of the big ones, Pinball FX3, is nice. They have some good tables and plenty of tie-ins. The only thing I find with most pinball video games is they generally have what you could find in an arcade. They closely emulate real pinball tables. Now, Demon's Tilt has tons of things you can't do on a real physical table, something that sets it apart from the rest of the pinball games. We'll get back to those things. It also drew me in with its art and theming. I'm a big fan of occult stuff, so I see occult pinball, how could I not get it? The music is stellar. They said they wanted to, in part, have a Genesis-sounding soundtrack, and I think they nailed it. The songs rule. They use a lot of fuzzy, splashy cymbals, and it just sounds wonderful. I always buy soundtracks for games I'm doing videos on, to include a few examples, and for myself. But since I'm not great at this game, I didn't get to hear all the music all the time, or if I'm hearing it, I'm not really focused. I'm focused on the action, so I don't absorb the songs. So I'm glad I got a chance to listen to them all on their own. They really enhance the action as you play, but I feel I would have to get a lot better to consistently notice them at the specific times they come on. The art itself is very nice. Everything has the right feel to it. The table looks like some kind of cathedral, and the bosses really stand out as the centerpiece of each tier on the table. Now, if you look at the static table for the first time, it probably seems like a lot. And it is, but I find that indicators and clear art makes it easy to understand once you get the game in your own hands. There's a lot to do in the table. I don't think I've ever seen a pinball game that has 3 tiers like this. If you know some, let me know, okay? But, I mean, you have 8 goddamn flippers. That seems crazy to me. I love it. And beyond this, they recently added 3 sub-tables you can get to from the different tiers. And they add just a little bit more. This is what I mean by this is a pinball video game. No physical table could do this stuff. I've seen tables with multiple tiers. I've seen them with sub-tables. I don't think I've seen one that did both, let alone 3 of each. As I said, there are bosses on each tier, and they do fight you. Tier 1 has a boss that changes between multiple different enemies. Good luck seeing that on a physical table, let alone all the other stuff I'm about to say. The bosses shoot you. That's right, there's a little bit of bullet hell in this game. The Tier 2 boss, the priestess, even catches your ball and throws it around when you hit her too much. There are enemies that spawn on each tier, either associated with missions or just to fight against you. On top of that, there are a lot of visual effects occurring when bosses are hit and when other activities are completed. Basically, this is a unique to video game style pinball table, and I love that. I feel like there needs to be more pinball video games doing things you can't do with a physical table. I don't mind playing on what could be a real table, but you do like to see some variety, like this game offers as well. On each tier, there are missions to start, leading you to spell out either Hermit, Arcane, or Zodiac. I think this is an important part of a pinball video game, giving you more goals than just a big huge score. I know that I haven't seen everything this table has to offer me, that's why I keep going back. There's a lot to do, especially with the addition of subtables. One of them kind of reminds me of Cyborg Girl from Epic Pinball, if anyone else remembers that. I want to play and improve my skill, and find out all the things this game has to offer. I want to spell one word, damn it. I feel like the inclusion of the EX mode, where the subtables are in play, is a cool choice. You can go back and play the base game, as it stood without many tweaks and changes, just in the normal mode. I actually hope, as they continue to update and change things, we just get the changes as new tables, so you can see how the game was at earlier points, or just play the one you enjoy the most. I will say, it does feel a little odd to me that it feels like you're intended to play on Tier 2 most of the time. But it comes with a benefit, as it adds a bit of safety to your play. If you drop from Tier 2, your ball isn't lost. You just have to. I always wonder if it's just because I need to practice more with this game, but things can be very hectic at times. You have to be aware of those bullets, or you might just hit a ball and watch it go right down. There are a couple of releases on Tier 1s that kind of just doom your ball. Those damn out lanes. I know the game wants you to tilt quite a bit, but I'm still getting used to doing that more, which will probably help in future situations. I also know my aim needs to improve, as there are many ramps or targets near to each other. I really want to end up in those pop bumpers, but I keep hitting that left ramp. These are just tiny nitpicks, and will probably disappear with practice. My only real major complaints are, there's no skill shot from the plunger. It's just because that's one of my favorite pinball mechanics, so I'd like to see it in the game. One of the subtables is a bowling minigame, which is really cool, but it does feel like it slows down the action. The other subtables are great. Considering these are my only complaints, I'd say it's a pretty great game. I find this game to be so pleasing to the eyes and ears and just to play in general, so I don't feel bad about my low scores. I know with time I'll get better, and so will those scores. If you have any interest in pinball games, this one is totally worth it. I know it's in early access, and it's $15, but again, absolutely worth it. I'm very pleased with this game. Seriously, if you're a pinball fan, this game needs to be part of your collection. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. This is a more normal video compared to my last one. This is very game-focused. I hope there isn't any bullshit around this game at all. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. I hope you enjoy the game if you grabbed it. Again, like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. It helps me out. I'm also thinking about rebranding, so to say. I want to find an avatar for me in these videos that is a bit more unique than the ones I have so far. These changes will be happening fairly soon, but probably piece by piece. So get ready to see some new stuff in and around the videos. I think the next video will be another weird one, and it might take a while to do. But I'm still working on making videos, so don't worry. I'm just trying to figure out how to manage my time now that I have a job. I'll see you guys next video.